We are here today working on this YF-102A, a historical piece of aviation history. We've been asked to restore this aircraft back to near shiny metal for the Sullenberger Aviation Museum. And we wanted to take this opportunity to walk you, our viewer, through our process for polishing oxidized aluminum. Now, we have published the whole video on the channel where we show you the project from start to finish, along with a little history of the aircraft. So if that interests you, you can click the link in the description below to watch the full video. Now, without any further chit-chat, let's go get started and show you our process. So guys, as you can see, we're getting ready to show you what we're gonna do for the plane. We're actually gonna be cleaning the oxidized aluminum, and I'm actually gonna be taking a little bit of mineral spirits on my Scotch-Brite pad. And you can see it's very, very minimal up here. It's not super heavy painted, doesn't have a lot of oxidation, but we're gonna get down to the bare of it, right? So I'm actually gonna take a little and pour it onto this thing. I don't have much left, so that's all I'm gonna pour is a little bit. Okay. Just kind of cleaning and breaking everything loose, so whenever I do go to buffing, it's not so stuck to the aluminum. You can see, taking off some of the dinginess, some of the extra paint. I'm gonna use the same product but just two different pads, because we found some stuff that is the bomb, right? Not gonna give all the tricks of the trade away. We're gonna keep the product secret. So after we were making our first pass compounding wise because of the pad, we're actually gonna wipe down the excess. And as you can see, we're starting to get it smooth and flat, but it's not quite there yet. So we're gonna actually cut it again. Might even have to go to a green Scotch-Brite. So we're gonna make another pass, put a little more product on there. See, we're just keeping getting it smoother and smoother and smoother and flatter and flatter and flatter. And for up here, for all intensive purposes, they're wanting this thing to be about 80%. So we're close to 80% now. As you can see, all the edging, there's still some oxidation when you see my little cities down here. You can see all the scratching on this thing. From the angle of people, how they're gonna be looking, how far they're gonna let them in here. This would actually be enough, but we're actually gonna do one more polishing step to bring this thing to life. We're actually gonna be changing to our smooth pad and finishing it out. So as we're going to our polishing phase, one of the guys has actually brought in a product, and we're actually gonna be giving it a try today. And it's actually going to be J-Juice. You can actually find this online. You can find it on TikTok. It's really, really happening. So I told him to bring it, let's try it. So we're actually gonna be trying this to see how it works today. So this is actually my first time. I've never actually used this stuff. Everybody says it's great, and it's actually an extra strength metal polish. So it's chrome, stainless, or aluminum. So it's a one size fits all. So we're gonna see how it actually does on our old test pot. So, as you can see, I'm always going left to right and up and down. That's actually called cross-hatching. That just makes sure that I don't miss anything. My first is actually just putting the product on. I call that spreading the peanut butter to make sure I get it all over my working surface. Then you come in, and I'm gonna add a lot more pressure to try to get it as flat as possible. And as you can see, it keeps getting darker and darker and darker. That means it's polishing finer and finer and finer. And it's getting it down to the smooth where we want it. turns dark because the abrasives in the polish are bringing the trash out of the aluminum. And the more you polish, the more product you have, the more it brings to the surface. So as you can see, it started out white. Now the pad is black, I mean completely black, right? A lot of people use all kind of tricks, especially these guys that really know what they're doing, that are polishing semi-trucks and wheels and gas tanks. You'll learn all kinds of tricks of the trade from those guys. You can see all of that black in here and still haven't finished up completely. And again, we are not going for the mirror finish on this. We're not going to say, oh my goodness, this thing here has to be 1,000%. Our job is to get it flat, to give it a shine, and get rid of this oxidation, as you can still see that is laying on here. Up here more is more painted area, but that will smooth down and go quickly as we continue to move on. So one thing you guys may not know is this plane is actually from the 1950s. And to get this thing back to 100%, which they're not wanting because they want it to look like it's been used, you would have to sand this. I mean, a lot of this would take probably a 400 grit paper, some places probably 220. So they're wanting it 80 to 85%. So what we're actually doing is we're just really removing really heavy oxidation. We're trying to get some of the scratching out of it. We're trying to remove the paint because this thing was actually painted with a roller, and they painted it while it was sitting outside for show where it used to be shown. But now we're just trying to get a good shine and get the heavy oxidation off. And again, we're not going for perfection. We're going to make it better as if it had just been flown and been used, and now we've just parked it. Well guys, that's how we bring oxidized aluminum back to shiny metal here at Visual Perfection. And as you can see, it's not too bad of a process if you have the right tools and you have the right products to assist you. Now, it can be very time consuming if you're doing a large area like we're doing. So make sure that you take into account for any project or client's project that you may be learning to do this on. And if you wanted to see how we tackle this large aircraft, check out the full project video, link below down in the description. Now, as always, I hope this has helped you. And if you have any questions or maybe some polishing tips of your own that you would like to share, be sure to leave those in the comments below. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, follow, all the above. We would love to have you see what we have planned for the next one.